Amongst the madness, there is still a National Hockey League going on. And we bring that up only because Linda Cohn's called into the program. I'll be honest with you, LC. That's the only reason why we're bringing it up.
Well, first of all, I'm flattered by that I did call in and you picked up. And the other thing is, this is another kind of March Madness. Every March, hockey nuts like myself are focused in this madness of postseason coming up, positioning, and making the playoffs.
8th and final playoff spots, Linda, right? Out here in Los Angeles, that's what people are talking about.
That's right, and they were jumped last night by the Calgary Flames.
I missed that.
The Calgary and LA Kings going at it for the 8th and final spot.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Linda, I didn't have Calgary in my bracket. I'm not allowed to have a bracket. Maybe this is the only bracket I'm allowed to have.
How do you do in your bracket? See, I don't even fill one out because I stink after the first round.
I'm not allowed to. The NFL won't let me.
Seriously?
Seriously. They consider it verboten. They send out an email to NFL employees every time, every Monday after the selection Sunday. It's just like, don't do it.
Well, let me ask you something.
Please.
Do you have your own fantasy league?
Yes, that's fine.
And that is fine?
Yes, it is.
Now, I don't understand the difference.
Linda,
I really don't.
Linda, I don't question. I just go to work. You know? You do that every day, too, in a certain manner.
You're right, I do. But, you know, I have a big mouth, so I like to ask a lot of questions, and I usually don't get answers to those questions. Linda, so that continues, that trend, thanks to you.
Some of us have to swallow pride by not filling out brackets at work, and some of us put on the pads and try and become an emergency goalie for the Florida Panthers. Like you, Linda.
I know. I'm a little crazier than most, I guess, but it was great.
What happened?
Well, here's the deal. For those who do not know, you know, Panthers lost 2 goalies in one game a couple of weeks ago. And to their credit, they turned a negative into a positive and said, hey, we're going to have this tryout for goalies to be a practice goalie for a day. 1,500 applications. They picked 60. I was one of the 60. I went down there Monday, stopped 11 of 12 shots. I just wanted to play well, do well, not embarrass myself, and mission accomplished. Amazing experience for anyone who, you know, and I played as a kid in high school and college, so it wasn't a stunt, it wasn't a publicity thing. I really intended to do my best to try to be a practice goalie for the Panthers for a day. And real NHL players were shooting, and ex-Florida Panther players were shooting as well on me. And
we're watching you stop pucks. Right now, we're showing video of you, and it looks like you're mic'd up. Did you have an IFB in your ear? Were you doing a live shot while saving?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Rich, and you can attest to this. It was really that was the most challenging for me. If only I could just focus on stopping the puck, right? But I had live shots before I hit the ice, 2 hours before I hit the ice, cameras on me while I'm actually in the tryout, and then, of course, you know, after it was over, being there another 6 hours and doing more TV work. I have to, like you said, we have to remember what pays the bills. I had to do my day job. So that was the most important thing. But what an experience to do both. But, I mean, I want to do it again. I'm going to play. I think I'm going to figure out. Listen, every year I should try out for an NHL team, I think.
You should, Linda. And I knew this working with you. You could never beat your glove side, Linda.
You did know that, and you remembered that.
Yeah, never.
Oh, I'm so touched by that.
Never.
That you remember. You know it's important for a woman, and not beating my glove side was very key.
Linda Cohn joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. So who broke the news to you that you didn't make the Panthers? Did somebody
break? It was real outside in the hallway. They had all the 60 goalies gather around. Rob Tallis, the goaltending coach of the Panthers, made the announcement. And these 2 big lumbering guys made it. One guy's named Dustin, the other guy Bill. And they both battled it out in a shootout in between periods of the Panthers-Canadiens game Tuesday night. And they both stopped the same amount of shots. And so they both got to be a practice goalie for a day, which I thought that was pretty cool by the Florida Panthers.
That's cool. Did you try to Frankify your name like Guy Hebert from back in the day? Try and come.
Guy Hebert, Guy Hebert,
Patrick
Roy.
Yeah, suddenly becomes Guy Hebert. Should we go Linda? Should we try and Frankify your name up?
I like that idea. Well, for the next time, we have to do it. So when I try out for, like, the Ottawa Senators or something, you know, get a little French-Canadian thing going.
Give yourself a leg up, Linda. Always. Get yourself that edge.
I know. Listen, we did talk before. Next time, bring your information right before my tryout. So, you know, this would have been key info that I could have had earlier. But, you know, it's really fun. You know, what can I say? It's all good. People loved it, and the publicity was great. And, you know, people do play hockey in Florida. just like they play in California.
Oh, I know that. I know that. Linda Cohn joining me here. So you didn't fill out a bracket, Linda? You didn't get in the Madness?
I really didn't, because the last 3 years I've become very frustrated with the system that I call me picking out and filling out a bracket because I was failed at it. I enjoy the glory and the negativity of others when they're dealing with their bracket woes. As you know me, Rich, that's the most important thing, to see the emotions of people I love and people I couldn't care less about get excited or not so much about teams they don't know anything about.
Well, Linda, let's just put it this way. You can rail against the system all you want, okay? If somehow, some way, SUNY Oswego got into the tournament, you'd be all crazed.
I would. You're right. That's my alma mater, but I don't even remember if they have a basketball team. Hockey is their thing, but you're absolutely right. I would be. So you're saying I would be a fraud and a hypocrite?
No, you'd get into it. That the March Madness, you have to somehow experience it in the most personal manner for you to get into it. If SUNY Oswego got in as a 14th seed, right?
I'd be all over it.
You would be. It'd be March Madness.
Yes, it would be like like what Georgia State came through yesterday with their win over Baylor.
Exactly.
I would be that person. I would be that nutty person. Yes, but it's not all about hockey for me. I just want to tell you, while I'm getting ready to do a live shot, here's something you'd very much appreciate.
Yes.
I heard in my ear as I'm listening to the SportsCenter report and about to throw it to me, they did a report on a Met hurler getting hurt. And I'm like, who is that? Who was that? What's going on? And it was like Zach Wheeler news. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. Right before my live shot about being on the Panthers. So, it's not always about, I can care.
I know that. So do you have SportsCenter at the top of the hour, Linda?
I really do.
You and David Lloyd?
I will be, you know what? I'm going to sell this March Madness thing.
Okay. Is it you and the Benjamin Button of ESPN?
It's me and Benjamin Button, David Lloyd.
Tell Ben Button I said hi, will you please, Linda?
I have a SUNY Oswego basketball update.
I will definitely share that message.
Hold on a minute. Chris Brockman has a SUNY Oswego update before we send you off to SportsCenter.
Apparently, the Lakers lost in the Division III men's basketball championship to Calvin College.
And it does sound. You sure it wasn't Calvin Coolidge?
Yes,
perhaps.
It's the only Calvin we know.
It's the only Calvin we know. And it does sound better with the NCAA and CBS music underneath it.
It really does.
It really does. It really goes next level when you do that.
It does, Linda. It does. Thanks for calling in.
Anytime.
You got it.
You're the best, Rich.
You too, Elsie.
Bye,
That's
Linda.
Linda Cohn.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.